the Monday, March 13th, 2017 meeting of the Blue Springs Planning Commission to order. If I could get everybody to please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and good evening to everybody and welcome as well as to those watching us from home. Tonight's agenda will consist of the consent agenda, item 1. Item 2 will be a public hearing for the amended Eagles Ridge Estates PRO. Item 3 is a public hearing for rezoning for Parkway Villas. Item 4 is a public hearing for the planned development concept plan for the Parkway Villas. Item 5 will be a site plan design review for Sunfresh Market on Tract 3 of Eagles Ridge. Item 6 will be a planned residential overlay final plan for Sunfresh Market on Tract 3 of Eagles Ridge. Item 7, other business, and item 8 will be adjournment. So with that, I would entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Before I get to the public hearing, I'll just run through the procedure quickly. I think everybody here knows, but we'll just do it for protocol. I will open the public hearing, call for exhibits from the city attorney. Staff will make comments. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make their presentation. I will ask for witnesses in favor, witnesses that want to speak in opposition. Then we'll have general discussion and questions among the commissioners. I'll close the public hearing and then it will be considered for a vote. So with that, I will open the public hearing for, which I guess I'm reopening because it has been opened, but is the public hearing for the amended planned residential overlay district concept plan PROC-10-16-5526 amended Eagles Ridge Estates PRO, and ask for the exhibits from our city attorney.
Mr. Chairman, the city offers the following exhibits into the record. Exhibit 1, staff report with attachments. Exhibit 2, affidavit of publication in the Examiner on November 12, 2016. Exhibit 3, application with attachments. Exhibit 4, 185 feet notification map. Exhibit 5, names and addresses of property owners within 185 feet of site. Exhibit 6, copy of letter sent to said property owners. Exhibit 7, Title 4, Land Use Section, Blue Springs Code of Ordinances by reference. Exhibit 8, 2014 Comprehensive Plan by reference.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Jurey, would you like to make the staff presentation?
Yes, I will. Thank you, Chairman Graham and Planning Commissioners. Before you have the planned residential overlay concept plan. The applicant is requesting to amend the existing concept plan. And thank you for just being patient with this project. I know you were scheduled in November to hear this, but there has been finally, there has been movement with a financial package that the applicant is requesting, and they submitted that, and that's actually going before City Council on the 20th of March. And the main point of that financial package, just for curiosity's sake, is that it'll be they're proposing a 1% sales tax to reimburse the developer for public improvements associated with a project in the Eagles Ridge project area. And I'll direct any questions about that incentive package to the applicant, since I'm not a part of that, but the main purpose for that, or the main purpose for this concept plan does not entail that financial package, so that should not have any actual bearing on this concept plan. So with that, I'll go into the proposal for the concept plan for the Eagles Ridge PRO. And the applicant is proposing approximately 14,900 square feet of restaurant space and 139,000 square feet of retail space on 4 commercial lots that encompass approximately almost 22 acres. And as you can see on this aerial photo, in the dashed line, it's There is 7 Highway to the west. The major road, which will be required to be improved, is to the south. And there's general business to the north and south, and then 2-family, single-family, and some undeveloped residential area as well to the east of the proposed commercial area. It's currently undeveloped, and the main public improvements that will be required with this development will be major road, of course, and then sidewalk will be required anywhere the commercial development abuts a street. There's also the 8-foot trail on major road that will be required with this development. To get into a little bit more of what the actual site plan looks like. There's 6 proposed buildings. 2 of them are longer, typical general retail strip center developments, and the other 4 buildings are pad site type buildings. The longer buildings, longer buildings along here and there will be of similar design, and then along this portion right here. This building right here is a pad site, but the 4 pad site buildings may or may not have the same design qualities as the general strip retail. That design depends on what those pad sites are, and if those businesses that want to build in those pad sites adhere to the general design guidelines, or if they want to go on their own path for their development. In terms of the building look, it's your typical retail, and it's pretty typical along 7 Highway to see general retail similar to this. The maximum height of the top of the tower will be 40 feet, which is within the requirements or the maximum allowed height for general business areas. And the frontage has a good variation between the windows and the height differences and the building massing. The main access points for this development, there will be 2 access points along 7 Highway, one in that location, and then this access point right here, well, actually MoDOT did say that they want to move that north, mainly because there is a turn lane that MoDOT does fear that if that access point is located where it is shown on the plan, that people may use that turn lane coming south and actually turn into that location, whereas that's actually a northbound turn lane only, and so they don't want that conflicting traffic to be there. So one of the conditions is that that MoDOT will be the approval entity for anything that any access drive that touches 7 Highway, since they do own and operate that. The only modification that the applicant is requesting is for from the underlying zoning district is for a 0 building line setback for interior sides. There is, if you can see, there's a property line here and then also a property line over here in 2 locations. The one on the north side of the development, we do allow party walls with a 0-foot setback, and this would classify as a party wall. But on the southern lot, or the southern commercial area, as you can see, the proposed building does abut that property line, and as such, it is not a party wall, and thus it wouldn't meet our code requirements. But since this is a PRO development, and staff believes that this meets the intent of the code, where it doesn't have any impact on the exterior area or the surrounding area, that this is an acceptable modification. Beyond that, the applicant is looking at the open space, and they have provided almost enough open space to meet the requirements with all of the open space along the frontage and stormwater areas, as well as a couple seating locations along the strip developments, one there and one on the south side of each strip building. But there's one location where the open space typology is not met, and along the southern portion of this site along 7 Highway, the open space typology requires that in order to count it as open space, it needs to be 20 feet wide and have an 8-foot trail in order to meet our open space typology requirements. And the developer was only able to fit 15 feet and a 5-foot sidewalk. But there is a caveat in the code that does say if there are other street amenities that allow or that would warrant a reduction, that the Planning Commission can approve such a reduction. And staff does believe with the bicycle lane on 7 Highway that this would warrant such a reduction in terms of the size and the width of the sidewalk as well. But as good faith, in good faith, the applicant has also proposed several benches along 7 Highway that will be located on private property, whereas MoDOT does not want those on their property. So with that, staff does recommend approval of this concept plan with 12 conditions. And I will say one of those is that the City Council is hearing this, and so one of the conditions is that the City Council, if they deny or modify the approval, that the the final plan will have to reflect that, but that's not on this one, sorry. So I guess with that, the 12 staff conditions will be with the staff recommendation. So if there's any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Jurey? All right, thank you. Mr. Ward, would you like to make your presentation? If you could state your name for us, address, and be sworn in, please.
David Ward, 1120 Southwest Eagle Ridge Boulevard, Green Valley, Missouri.
You sound swear the testimony about to give this case, you give the truth, so the God.
Yes. Well, Nathan pretty well explained what we're attempting to do here. The elevation drawings do not do it justice. The building's a lot nicer looking than the architectural drawings on it. Kind of had to come in here with a layout that will suit the growth in the south area, I believe, in the next 3, 4, 5 years. It's growing pretty well right now. And our first project to tackle, it would be the south grocery store and retail space, which we have a 40,000-foot Sunfresh going in, and then we're negotiating with one restaurant to take 5,000 or 6,000 foot of the other space. With, as Nathan was saying, it has outdoor seating on the south side. The grocery store actually will also have outdoor seating in the front with it has outdoor seating with fireplace in the middle, and then inside seating, kind of a nice amenity across the front there. But pretty well explained what we're attempting to do there. We'd like to try to get rolling on as soon as we can here this spring. And if I can answer any questions, I'd be glad to.
Any questions for Mr. Ward?
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Peil?
Mr. Ward, have you met with the homeowners association again on this particular plan?
Yes.
Have they had any disagreement about the number of entry points or curb cuts on 5th Street?
It was a concern with theirs. It was actually the curb cuts on 7 Highway. They were wanting to have some access out there, and again, that's kind of up to MoDOT of where and exactly we can access that. Other than that, the people we've met with there was no comments about any other curb cuts in there.
Really, because a lot of those accesses, if you will, on the back side of the property, I'm sure there'll be a lot of truck passage through those, and also
With
not only that, but the residents will be...
The truck traffic pertaining to the south project here will be coming in off of the new major road.
Right.
Will be all that. The north side there, I can't control that at this point in time, but it more than likely will come off the main drive coming into the subdivision.
Okay.
I can't see too many trucks coming in that direction. It's farther. And I mean, at the comments from the citizens there, they haven't had any trouble with that.
Okay. Yeah, because I would imagine that would be real attractive with a lot of traffic on that road as well as for the
I
residents
mean,
doing
they
that.
can be closed up, but I believe the fire department's going to want some sort of access
Absolutely.
at the back there.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ward.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Commissioner Billups?
Yeah, I just had a question about the phasing of this whole thing. Are you looking at doing the grocery store and that strip all at one time?
Correct.
And then the rest of it just as it comes down the pike, hopefully?
Exactly. I mean, everybody kind of seen how 7 Highway is a little bit slow in some of the areas there to go. So it's kind of, again, you know, as we try to jumpstart it with what we're doing, it could be 2 years, it could be 10 years. We just don't know at this time.
And I think you kind of addressed one of my concerns in that you said you're already in negotiation with a pretty large tenant for part of the strip.
Correct. Yes.
So because I was worried about that strip sitting empty. We've had some strips, you know,
Yeah, I know
toward the south
exactly.
end that sat empty for a long time.
Right. Yeah, we will. And, I mean, we're getting close. I've talked with them several times, and they're a tenant of mine now in another shopping center. So they'd probably take 5,000 to 6,000 square feet. Okay. They used to be in Blue Springs, and they moved out, and now they're coming back.
Well, that's good to know.
I do have a question. Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Have you discussed, like you said, you'd talked to the neighbors about the buffering between the center and their properties?
Yes. Yes, and well, actually, we have the fencing was an issue that they talked about, the height of it, and they were wanting 8 foot, I think 6 foot's what the city ordinance is. And so they were wanting a taller one, but I don't think it met the city ordinance. The white vinyl fence with landscaping along the outside of it there is what we proposed there. And it kind of falls to the city of what we can actually physically do there, which the 8 foot, I believe was too tall for the city there.
And so I'm glad that you've met with them.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions for Mr. Ward? All right. Thank you.
All righty, thank you very much.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor? Is there anybody that would like to speak in opposition? Okay. I will bring it back up here for discussion on the record among the commissioners.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Peil.
I'd like to ask staff, or any of the notification letters returned?
No, sir.
Were there also any opposition letters that were forwarded later on?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. And I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Haney.
I make a motion to approve the public hearing amended plat residential overlay district concept plan PROC 10 165526 with the 12 conditions, and what was the extra one or the change?
There wasn't a change.
No, there were just 12 conditions.
Okay.
Second.
I have a motion. I have a second. This will be a roll call vote.
Planning Commissioner Wallace.
Aye.
Commissioner Haney.
Aye.
Commissioner Peil.
Aye.
Commissioner Duhan. Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Billups?
Aye.
Commissioner Banks?
Aye.
Chairman Grant?
Aye.
Motion carried.
That recommendation passes, and we will forward that to the City Council for their consideration, which their next meeting is March 20th
At 6. At 6 o'clock.
at 6 o'clock. I have to say that because I was just 6:30, there's a 6 o'clock. Commissioner Peil.
May I make a comment?
Sure.
Mr. Ward, I appreciate your attention to the HOA on going through all of these. There has been a lot of discussions with the HOA and yourself, and I do appreciate that you have spoken with them and have worked with them on this entire thing.
I'd like to second that. Thank you very much.
All right. Moving along, items 3 and 4, which pertain to the Parkway Villas, the applicant has requested a continuation for those public hearings to the April 24th meeting. So I would entertain a motion to continue.
So moved.
I have a motion. How about a second?
Second?
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Items 3 and 4, public hearing for rezoning and public hearing for the planned development concept plan for Parkway Villas will be continued to our April 24th meeting. Brings us to item 5, which is site plan design review for the Sunfresh Market, and we will hear item 6 as well at the same time, but we will consider them separately for the planned residential overlay final plan. And Mr. Jurey is going to present those for us.
Thank you, Chairman and Commissioners. Before you have the final PRO final plan and the site plan design review by the applicant, and they're requesting approval for each of these. The proposal includes a 54,000 square foot general commercial building that houses a 40,000 square foot grocery store and 14,000 square feet of general retail on one lot, encompassing approximately 6.37 acres. And this lot is located at the southwest corner of, or the southern side of what you were looking at earlier with the concept plan, at the corner or on the eastern side of 7 and the northern side of future major road. In general, the applicant's, the only thing, or two things that the applicant's requesting that are outside of the norm are the alternative compliance landscape plan, and also the applicant did not provide a detail of the proposed fireplace in the seating area, and so we'll provide, or we'll ask for a condition that the building permit will include a fireplace that's of substantial size and of stone, brick, or similar material. But I'll get on with the main brunt of everything that the applicant is proposing. As you can see, Southwest 7 Highway on the southern side, and major road, which they will be required to complete on the, southern side for major road and the western side for 7 Highway. The grocery store situated towards the back of the lot with 40,000 square feet and general retail 14,000 square feet. And on the southern side of that retail is where that open space, outdoor seating area, and proposed fireplace are. And you can see a closer site plan just to the right here of the screen, and showing some interior landscaping and possible outdoor fireplace within that outdoor seating area. The parking is met. The the concept plan and the final plan and site plan design review all match, as you would hope, since they're all being applied for at the same time. And so as long as the City Council approves the concept plan, then we'll condition this approval of the final plan on whether or not the City Council approves the concept plan. And if there are any alterations or denial of it, then that should be reflected with this final plan as well. But we won't know that until March 20th. So we'll wait for the City Council's approval on that. Beyond that, there's the building elevations seen previously, same outline or same elevations as shown on the concept plan. Mainly brick below, and I believe a stucco or similar on the upper part of the building. And the brick will wrap around on all 3 sides, or on 3 of the 4 sides, I should say. There's a detail of the bike parking proposed, and also the trash enclosure. Here's the landscape plan, which they are asking for an alternative compliance landscape plan approval. And the main reason for this request is that they meet and go beyond the plant units required, except the code does have a cap on how many perennials you can count towards the plant unit total. And if you instill that cap, we can only count 189 plant units of the 3,000 or so reed grass type of plant that they're installing in the stormwater basins. And it's a huge amount of reed grasses that they're proposing in the basins, and we can only count 189 of the 3,000. But staff does believe that the stormwater features do add an aesthetic quality to the proposal, and as such, staff does believe that the alternative compliance landscape plan meets the intent of the code. Beyond that, the only other issues, other conditions that we do provide are in terms of the public improvements and other such requirements, along making sure that we're up front with everything that we are requiring in terms of stormwater, major roads, sidewalks, trails, and such, and ensuring that we do have the appropriate appropriate conditions to make sure that we get those installed. So with that, staff does recommend approval of this PRO final plan and the site plan design review with 11 staff conditions. So if there are any questions, I'll stand for answering.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Jurey? Commissioner Billups.
Are there any conditions or restrictions on outside sales connected to this?
They are limited, and for the entire concept plan as well, they are limited to what is allowed in general business. They didn't provide any further restrictions in terms of restricting themselves, I should say, but just what is allowed in the general business zoning district.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Mr. Jurey? All right. Thank you. Mr. Ward, anything to add?
Really can't add anything. He's done a very good job of presenting what we're trying to do there.
Okay.
I'll be willing to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Ward?
Sure.
Commissioner Wallace?
Yeah. That open seating area down there, what's going to attract the people there? Where's that fireplace?
Well, what will attract people is the restaurant on the end there. We're going to allow them to have outside seating in that area from the restaurant there.
Okay. Good enough.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Ward? All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Haney.
I make a motion to approve site plan design review SPDR-11-16-5574 with 11 staff conditions.
I have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
I have a second from Commissioner Banks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Commissioner Haney, you're on a roll tonight.
I'm up. Make a motion to approve Plan Residential Overlay Final Plan PROF-11-16-5565 with 11 staff conditions.
I have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Banks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries as well.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Thank you. That brings us to other business, and I was a little remiss earlier in not welcoming our new city attorney to our commission here. Ms. Sommers will be our city attorney from now on going forward. So welcome, and
Thank you very much.
great to have you here. And if you haven't met everyone, you can introduce yourselves to Ms. Sommers later. Mr. Allen, do you have any other business, new business?
Yes, Mr. Chair, as was presented, I believe, at your seat this evening. Yes, no? Was emailed to you earlier.
It was emailed, yes.
And is presented at my seat to remind you, to clarify. Save the date, which is actually, please give us your RSVP as soon as possible. Next Tuesday, the 21st, the City of Independence is the next host for the Eastern Jackson County Planning Commissioners Training. And they're going to be talking about stormwater management. As you know, there's a lot that goes into that. You see those on these plans coming forward, even tonight. You know, there's reference to that. So certainly well worth your time to attend. Hear a little bit more about just stormwater management concepts, plans, things of that sort, a little bit more detail. Nothing to the level that our city engineer has to deal with, but certainly get you a little bit caught up and brought up to speed on some of those specifics. And as it says here too, everything you need to know and we're afraid to ask, meaning bring your questions as well. So please let Karen know as soon as possible, preferably by tomorrow if you haven't yet already, again, up or down. So City Independence can plan accordingly for seating and food and things. It starts at 5:30 with a light dinner, and then 6 o'clock's a program. Pretty quick process. Look to be again 6 to 7 type thing. So wouldn't be eating up your whole evening next week. So kind of like a 5:30 to 7, and that's at the Midwest Genealogy Library on Lee Summit Road. We did have a session there several years ago. If you've not been to the genealogy library before, it's a beautiful building, a lot of great things inside, even to kind of look around at before or after the event. But again, let Karen know tomorrow if you can, if not yet tonight. That's next Tuesday, again, the 21st. In terms of the next agenda, we have some applications for, it's called contractor storage. This is at 902 Southwest South Avenue. There's some contractor storage buildings there already, some older ones in South Ave that Clay Swope, the property owner, is looking to expand that. There's a house that was raised last year, if you recall, and that vacant lot is what they're looking to expand into. Backs up to the railroad tracks there. And then that's really the long and the short of it. There's an alternative sign plan, master alternative sign plan from St. Luke's as well. So they're making good progress on their project at Artie Mize and Amsterdam Parkway. So those are the next projects coming up for the 27th. Other than that, I'll let Mr. Jurey talk about the draft annual report that was presented. At I think an email late last week. So.
And yeah, it seems across the annual report when I did that, it appears that permits and plans both have increased year over year across the board. I didn't bring any specific numbers, I guess, but if there are any questions about that, then I'll field any questions.
Any questions? All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Allen?
Ms. Findora would like to say something, I believe.
Yes, I want to introduce Mark.
Oh, thank you. See, I cannot see him behind here.
You can't see her on that big podium beside you.
Thank you for pointing that out. No shame in pointing out Mark Stumbaugh. Mark is our Economic Development Manager. So thank you, Mark, for being here, even though I can't see you.
Welcome this evening, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Anything else? All right. Anybody? Any other business? Mr. Billups?
Nope, not tonight.
Not tonight. All right. Seeing no other business, I would entertain
So moved.
a motion for adjournment. I have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.